gone so much into link production so early in the game that now she has to like really heavily drone.
Okay.
So the idea is, I mean, I may send a few zealots early on to apply some pressure if I think I can. If I think the timings are aligning well.
Okay, alright.
But I don't think I go for that. I think what I do is I play slightly straighter. I think I wait for the Stargate to come out. Yeah, I think 13 Forge, 17 Nexus is the absolute standard. That's a good build to follow. And then you put down your Cybernetics right after your Gateway, and then you put down another Stargate. And then you put down a Stargate, sorry.
Okay, so you put on your Cybernetics after your second gateway, it seems, yeah?
Yeah, in this, because I thought I was going to put some pressure with Zealots.
Alright.
But I didn't feel safe, so I put down another cannon instead.
Okay, alright.
Waited for her to come.
Alright.
Yeah, we put here Stargate down. And it's really important to know like the orientation of the overlords when you put down your Stargate, because you don't want that to be scouted at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You want to keep it. You want to keep it hidden. Well, it makes sense. I mean, I guess the whole idea between going for a Stargate is to buy yourself more time, or is it just to put a little bit of more pressure, buy yourself more time, once you either tech up or go for like a third expo?
Yeah, the idea is that since you put yourself, you're so weak early on in the game.
Yeah.
You have to push the Zerg to spend money on something other than drones. So you need that one Void Ray which comes out and goes to the third. The general idea is to go straight to the third, which the Zerg may have taken, and try and deny it. As long as you deny the third, you're in good shape because you're on two bases along with the Zerg.
Okay,
if you don't see a third, yeah.
Well, it works the other way around as well, right? Because, I mean, you a 2-base Protoss versus a 2-base Zerg. I mean, if I was doing a Forge Fast expand and I had like a Stargate, and I don't see a third expansion by the Zerg player, I'll probably be a little concerned if whether, you know, the build that he or she was doing right now is probably an all-in, a 2-base all-in kind of a push.
Definitely.
That would be a valid concern, right?
Yeah, that is a very valid concern, because as soon as you see that the Zerg is chilling on two bases, you know that there's some tech in play. That, I mean, obviously, like, she's using the tech. She's either gonna go infestors or she's gonna go neuters.
Okay.
So the general like rule of thumb is to follow up a Stargate with at least 3 to 4 gates.
3 to 4 gates.
You're not gonna, you're not gonna rely on the Stargate as your primary source of damage. You're gonna use gateway units. And an early +1 is always really good to get, because if you can see right now, my +1 is about to finish. It's a good time for a +1 to finish. You can even do earlier than that. So
correct.
Once the Void Ray pops out, you wanna like send the Void Ray down the map in a beeline, so you can see if anything's coming to you. You know, because that's as soon as the Void Ray pops. MC said this pretty well, because his timing is such that the Void Ray pops out, and that's the same time that a Road Sling All-In happens. So you defend the Road Sling All-In with this Void Ray, and whatever the units you have in the game.
Okay, I'm right.
So the timings are really good for this, and since I don't see a third, now I've proceeded to try and scout what's going on in the base, maybe do some damage if I can. Basically just to harass the player. I don't want to do because there's no third, I don't need to do significant damage, you know?
Alright.
If you look at the income tab, like, I'm pretty ahead in Harvest Forge.
Yeah, it's like 58 to 45 right now. It's a big lead.
Yeah, because I play pretty greedy sometimes.
Alright. Nice, but okay, say for example you do see some sort of all-in coming. You know, the Zerg is on 2 base and he or she is doing an all-in. How would you respond to that? Like,
well, the best thing, I mean, you should have a general idea of what your opponent is doing, right? So if you see that all-in coming, you need to put down at least 1 or maybe 2 more cannons, depending on how many you put down in the beginning. Immediately warp in, put a few. Definitely prioritize sentries over the rest, because you can force field the roaches off and kill them with the Void Ray, because they can't shoot the Void Ray.
Alright. So basically, sentries another unit to like buy yourself time, essentially.
Yes, I mean, on a map like this, it's essential. You know, you need to use a ramp to your advantage.
Alright, nice.
So at the general timings to keep in mind are like 8 minutes and 12 minutes, because 8 minutes are usually when the third comes into, like, gets up if he or she has taken a third, and 12 minutes is when you need to do actual damage. If you
Alright.
don't do damage at this point and don't deny something, if the Zerg is good, you generally like fall behind in macro.
So the the
So
12th minute mark is basically when you just must attack the Zerg,
yeah,
or do some sort of push, or at
yeah.
least some sort of pressure. Alright, I see.
If you were doing something, yeah, if you were doing something else, you would go for blink, early blink, if you saw roaches, and try
Okay.
and take out the third.
Okay.
Maybe do some damage in the main, something like that. Pick off some structures. You don't want to directly, um, hit the army
Okay.
unless you see that it's really weak.
Alright.
And that's a really good time to take your third. You should try and get your third around the 11 minute, 12 minute mark.
Alright. Alright.
Because yeah, that third is crucial. If you get that third late, then you're behind forever, because then
It just
your
becomes
ulti is not.
a big difference in the economy then, right?
Yeah.
And
So now you see this
it's gonna be
little
playing catch up.
move to.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So now there's a little push to my third with all those lanes.
Correct. You see that.
And
Alright. Okay, Elroy, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still around. You guys having a good conversation, so I didn't want to interject over there on this. So.
Okay.
basically, I've found that the way the new Zerg style is that you try and generally most pros just blindly try and counter roaches.
Okay.
But I found that almost every Zerg I play against now goes mirrors, which is seriously annoying. So my response to that was to try and prevent that airplay by just going maybe 2 voids and a phoenix in the beginning, just
Okay.
to force that hydra play or some kind of infestor play. So I don't need to deal with mirrors, early game, because you're not equipped for it. You don't have blink. You can't just put cannons everywhere just for like safety. So that's
I think
really like,
mobility is an issue when it comes to Mutilus, right? Mutilus Harris.
yeah,
I,
definitely. I mean,
what?
I don't want to be one like. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry. Go on. You were saying something.
Well, yeah, not to just move, like, banelings are, like, really, like, annoying, because your blings and if you can't do links with Zealots, and the banelings just wipe out Zealots, so,
Okay, and
wipe out
here
Zealots
we're
effectively.
seeing a little bit of an encounter. These are actually some beautiful
Yeah,
force saves from you, man. Creating a nice little puzzle for all the banelings to come through.
yeah,
Um,
like, when you have a lot of stalkers, you can, like, create distance between yourself and the banelings, or, like, delay time at least. Otherwise, once you make contact with the stalkers, they'll plump up, they just do splash damage, and that's what really, like, does a lot of damage.
Alright, correct,
But
correct.
somehow I managed to stick on in this area. Somehow I just like, hold on,
It's
and I didn't
yeah,
know I had that loss.
that's really surprising because I thought that I mean your army was going to get wiped out there. What are your thoughts on infestors, man? Because I know most Protoss players find infestors like the bane of all things that they do, man. You know, infestors pretty much counter everything.
Yeah, I mean it's really tough, when you have like gateway units. There's so many gateway units and stalkers. Once you like you, I mean, you're supposed to have blink, right? So once you have fungal, kind of
Okay.
negates that. So you can't really blink back, and that's really a big problem. So that links around with the fungal is really annoying and can be quite devastating to a Protoss army. Which is why at this point I realized that I can't keep relying on gateway units. I need some Colossi.
Okay.
So I
You
started,
start thermal lance.
yeah,
Yeah, you started
started
off with
conversation there.
correct, correct. And just another thing, I just want to know what's going on in your head right now. You know, you just lost your third, your fourth
Mm.
is right here. I believe it's already been scouted out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already been scouted out by the Zerg player. And
Mhm.
yeah, so what are you thinking right now? You know, there's a pretty big battle. I would say that you guys had a fair exchange. The Zerg lost most, like pretty much all of its army except for a few infestors, whereas you lost almost about 80-85% of your army as well. But at the same time, you
Yeah.
lost your third. So what is going
Mhm.
on through your head right now at this point?
See, I'm not too worried at this point because I've seen what she's going for, and I know she's going for Infestor Ling,
Okay.
and I can control it pretty well with Colossi. And when I took the third, I mean, the thing to keep in mind is once you take your third, the ratio between taking your fourth and the third is much smaller than that between the second and the third, because as soon as you get your third up and running, that's when you need to take your fourth, because you can. Your economy explodes. You can't handle, you can't spend so much. So
Okay.
taking that early fourth is also a really good idea. So once you took my third, my fourth was already done, so I wasn't too worried about that.
All right,
And
nice.
yeah,
Okay, here we
and
see
over here you see that.
another pretty, I think this engagement went really well for you. Only a few
Yeah,
infestors left. Zerg player lost
energy.
all of its lings, and wow, man, infested terrains. You gotta just like run away from that shit. The DPS is
Yeah,
just so insanely high.
yeah. She managed to waste. The bad thing by her, she wasted all her energy on those infectors.
All right.
So I could back off and be. I'm pretty well off right now.
Okay.
I think she is leading in upgrades though.
In upgrades, let's check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's 2-1, whereas you're running on 1-1 right now. However,
yeah,
on the tech side, I mean, you do have high Templars coming in. I think you're going to morph in a few Archons right now because Storm, I have not seen Storm being, yeah, Storm is not yet researched. So that's basically going to be for Archons.
yeah.
So this is pretty much a death ball that you're going for. You're going for like
Yeah.
Colossi,
Basically,
Void Rays, Archons. Damn,
yeah,
I think besides carriers and a mothership and maybe Dark Templars, you pretty much got like every other unit. You've gone
if
for that.
you look at my fault right now,
As a
this
Nidus
is a
Swarm, yeah.
yes. She was just constantly trying to get a Nidus one on my fault, and it was pretty funny the way I was constantly denying it. But I think she gets one off. I mean, this is really annoying because Protoss mobility is so bad. Um, like you have to keep like in the map like this, you need to keep your army in the center, right?
All right.
I guess a better thing to do, a really good thing to do, even like especially when you have mutas to deal with, is to keep your stalkers on a different hotkey and just blink around dealing with the harass and keep the rest of your units in the middle.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, and getting this vision of your fort is important because Nidus play late game can really like be tough to deal with.
Nidus Swarms, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I
there's
guess,
another one coming.
I guess that's the same thought process behind Nidus Swarms as it is behind Mutilus. It's just about mobility. The Zerg army with their speed has so much more mobility than like a Protoss Death Ball. They're gonna
Definitely.
try and constantly. Oh, here you go, another Nidus Swarm. Oh my God, is that actually gonna finish?
I don't know.
No, I don't think
I don't
so.
think so. I
Damn,
don't think so.
that was cutting it close. Anyways, like I was getting back to my point, that mobility, yeah, if that blink actually is it's so crucial. I noticed that you haven't gone for blink at all in this game, even though you're pretty heavy on the stalkers.
Yeah, I guess that was I think an oversight on my part. But the thing is, like when you're against so many when you're against so many lanes, um, I didn't know she was going to be in, so I thought I would just get a nice amount of zealots and sentries and
Alright.
just wipe them out with that. But yeah, definitely Blink would have been a very good. And the only problem is that when you go Forge Fast Expand into Stargate, it's really tough to get Blink out as well. Early game.
Okay.
So and then late game it kind of becomes, oh wow, yeah, there's a big engagement here.
Yeah, this is looks like you're moving your max army out 200 versus 200, and oh, he's gone for like some Ultralisk as well. And yeah,
Yeah,
this is a big engagement. Oh good God, those are so many banelings.
yeah.
A good chunk of your army. Oh my God, that damn. A good chunk of your army got fungus right there.
I
But
think it's the placement of units that
basically,
matters.
yeah, that was basically your Colossi on the high ground and basically Zerglings versus Void Rays, which decided that engagement, and that's a pretty big engagement because you see
Yeah,
the Zerg players now falling to 115 as compared to 170 that you have going right now. And another thing I've actually just come to point out that I mean you've been playing pretty blind at this game.
pretty blind.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, you don't know whether the Zerg player's gone for like a fourth or a fifth yet, and
Um, yeah. I mean,
I guess that's another thing. That's probably one area where you could, I guess you would ask, like, you would tell, like Protoss players to focus on, because I see you have like an observer as main base, but it's not. Has it? I don't think it's done much, has it? I haven't actually noticed it.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you know that the Zerg is going Ring and Infestor,
Okay.
you know that you know that the